Can everybody hear me? Just refresh my screen. Can everybody hear me, see me? Are we good to go? Yes and yes. Perfect. Well, I believe we are officially at the top of the hour, so welcome to Cards by TLC, everyone. My name is Tammy Savello, and I'm coming to you live from Pinole, California, and that's in the San Francisco Bay Area. Today is Thursday, June 9th, and we are streaming live right here on YouTube. So as you're joining me today, come in and say hello. Let me know where you're tuning in from. If you're catching the replay, please be sure to write replay in the comments. And if you're new here and a first-time watcher, please put in new in the comment section so we can say hello to you. Before we get started, I want to thank Marcy and Jason for being my mods. I'm not sure if Jason's on here yet. Hi, Robin. How are you? Hi, Patty. But I know Marcy's here, so thank you for being my mod today and helping me answer any questions that I may miss during the live. But we're going to go ahead and get started. Let me get this out of the way. Today we are playing with the Sweetest Cherries Bundle. Hi, Tracy. Yay, welcome. Thank you for joining me. And we are playing with the Sweetest Cherries Bundle, and that is going to be found on page 19 out of the annual catalog. And it is such a cute, adorable bundle. Let me get this stuff out of the way here. I love this. So around here, it is cherry season, and we have these amazing cherry farms not too far from here. And as a little girl, I would go cherry picking and with my parents. And the funny story is they would notice that my bucket was not getting full. And little did they know it was eat 4 cherries, put 1 in the bucket. And they just saw this bucket getting emptier and emptier. So definitely eating cherries as I was going. And one of my cherries is the Rainier cherries. So I thought it would be today to create this card with my favorite cherry. Now I'm curious to know what your guys's favorite cherry is. Is it the red Bing cherries, or is it the Rainier cherries like me? I find that the Rainier cherries are sweet. And you guys, am I kind of glitchy on this on the screen? Because I'm kind of noticing on the screen that I'm glitchy. And I'm not quite sure. Oh, hey, Kristen, thank you for joining. Thank you for joining me first time this today. I appreciate you coming on here. Yes, it's glitchy and not clear. Okay. Are we clear now? I don't know why it was glitchy there for a second, but we seem to be clear now. Rainier is your favorite, Robin? Better now. Okay, great. Sorry about that, guys. Sometimes with Facebook and or YouTube, it kind of becomes glitchy. Alien invasion. Hey, they're trying to eat the cherries. So, so it looks like Rainier might be people's favorites. Marcy doesn't like cherries, but they're cute. So when I saw this bundle in the catalog, I couldn't help it, and I thought it would be just fun to... I've seen a lot of other samples where it was just the straight solid red on the cherries, so I thought it would be fun to show you guys how I created the Rainier cherries. But before we get started, let me go ahead and bring in the pieces that we're going to be using today. Again, all of the sizes and dimensions will be over on my blog tomorrow morning at Cards by TLC, but I'll quickly go through the sizes and dimensions. So if you're following along and want to write these down, great. If not, again, they will be on my blog tomorrow. And if you haven't subscribed to my blog or my newsletter, head on over to Cards by TLC and go ahead and do that so you don't miss any projects or news announcements or anything like that. I'm going to be starting up my newsletter again and sharing a lot of projects and tutorials with you guys. So we're going to start with the card base, and that is going to be done in the thick basic white card base, and it's a standard 5.5 by 8.5, and it's scored at 4 1/4 or folded in half. And then layer 1 is our sweet sorbet, and that is at 4 by 5 1/4. And then we have layer 2, which is our basic white, and it's again 1/4 of an inch smaller, and each size goes down 1/4 of an inch. And this is 3 3/4 by 5. And then we have Parakeet Party and our designer paper. I went ahead and used our new in color designer papers. Hey Rebecca, thank you for joining. Hi Kim Craft. Where are you? I don't recognize your name. Where are you tuning in from? And Rainier cherries are yummy. Great. Welcome, everybody. Thank you all for joining me today. And again, this Parakeet Party is this design out of the 2022-2024 in color designer paper. So I thought that's a fun pop of green that ties in with our leaves. And then our circles are from, again, my favorite, the Stylish Shapes Dies. Again, this is a must-have in your craft room. It has our squares, our circles, it has banners, whichever. Kimber coming from my personal account. Okay. Welcome, Kimber. We are using the Stylish Shapes, and those are the largest is going to be in the Sweet Sorbet color, and then Basic White is going to be our second largest circle. And I went ahead and ran them through our die cutting machine already. And then those are the pieces. And then I also have 2 strips that I'm going to be stamping the cherries and the leaves on. And I thought that goes in our punch a lot better when you're doing multiples. So let's go ahead and bring in and start stamping our cherries. And I'll see what we can go ahead and do that. And if you notice, these cherries are a little bit more vibrant. So I'm going to be sharing a little tip and trick with you with our lovely watercolor pencils. Now we have 2 watercolor pencils available in our annual catalog, and I pulled the Granny Apple Green out of this assortment 2, and I pulled out the Real Red out of assortment 2, and it looks like I pulled out Real Red out of assortment 1 and Daffodil Delight. So we are going to be using a technique that my amazing friend Patty, who's on here, showed me, and it's fun, and it just makes your color, your projects pop a little bit more. So let's go ahead and start off with our cherries, and we're going to be using the whole cherry, the stem, the leaf, the vein for the leaf, and then the sentiment sweet friend. So those are the stamps that we're going to be using today. And I'm going to start out by our Daffodil Delight, because Rainier cherries, the primary color is yellow on them, as you can see. There are some that are mostly red with a little bit of yellow, but I always want to start out with that yellow base. And we are going to go ahead and do that. Now, these are photopolymer stamps, so I have my foam stamp pad underneath, and that just gives it a little bit more coverage. So we'll do that. Oh, and Tammy already messed up. So we're going to flip that over. Before we stamp that down, we are going to bring in our Sweet ink pad and our dauber, and then we're going to want to daub that red on there. Kind of forgot the Rainier part of the cherry, right? I don't want to do that. Keeping it real. Okay, and then stamp down, stamp up, and there we go. And then I'm going to clean off each time because we're going to be starting off with the red, or the yellow, excuse me. A scrap piece of paper, and I can't seem to find one in close proximity. So, oh, here we go. There we go. Oh, Marcy, you didn't know that this was a leaf vein? At least I thought it looks like it's a leaf vein. It could be a sprig. It could be whatever you want it to be. Again, we're going in with the Daffodil Delight and adding, we'll do a little less sweet sorbet on that, make it a little bit more yellow. There we go. That's pretty. That's what I like about doing like a two-tone color. You can make it your own, and then on the last one we'll add just a little bit more red. And anytime you want to add color to this and make this a multi-color, this is the best. Our sponge daubers are the best to do that with. Okay. Making sure I didn't have any questions. Seemed to be good to go. And there we go. And the cherry is done. So let's go ahead and I'm going to bring in my color pencils. Now this is a fun technique that my friend Patty Bennett showed me, and she learned it from a couple of gentlemen that are male demonstrators through Stampin' Up that does amazing watercolor classes, and I absolutely loved this. So as you can see, it's pretty as is. It's absolutely gorgeous. Bringing in the watercolor pencils just gives it just that little bit of extra love around the edges here. And you don't have to color it in all together, but it just gives it, makes that image pop just a little bit more. See that difference? Can you guys tell that difference? I absolutely love this technique. Just kind of come in around the edges and just add just a little bit of color. Now, if it's a little bit harsh, bring in a Q-tip and just kind of blend out that color just a little bit. If you want to take away just the harshness, it ever so slightly lightens that up for you. But you don't have to do that. And you don't even have to take the watercolor pencils and color this in. But I just found that it really gave it some extra boldness to my image. Rebecca, Rainier cherries have amazing antioxidant support and great glycemic index, so it's one of the best fruits for a diet. Oh, Rebecca, thank you. Thank you for telling me that. I always thought that cherries just kind of gave it a little bit of extra sweetness, but as a diabetic, hey, at least I picked my favorite cherry to be able to eat. Thank you for sharing that with us. That is an amazing tip. I did not know that. Now I can eat all the cherries I want. I think we're gonna have to make a trip out to Brentwood and go cherry picking. because I honestly have not been cherry picking since I was a little girl. My husband and my brother-in-law and my sister-in-law went last year, I believe, but they went in the afternoon when it was like 110 degrees outside. No, thank you. I will not participate in that. So those are our cherries, and before we cut those out, let's go ahead and stamp our leaves. This girl does not do heat and 110 degree weather. Tomorrow it's supposed to be in the 30s, and I might be spending the afternoon in my pool. Thank you, Robin. I appreciate that. So I'm going to bring in our parakeet party. And as you notice, the way the punch is, I'm going to go ahead and stamp my image. So it'll be easier to feed through. So I'm going to stamp those in parakeet party. And then that little vein goes on the leaf, and Granny Apple Green pairs really nice with parakeet party. So let's go ahead and that could even be used as a twig as well. It's pretty easy. So, but I believe it's a vein for the leaf. And then that just gives it kind of like a tone. It's just a shade darker, so it pairs really nicely together. And then I'm going to go ahead and bring in the Granny Apple Green watercolor pencil and do the same technique. Now this is just a little bit bright, so I'm not going to be as heavy on that, and I'm just going to kind of go along the edges. It doesn't need a lot. I love adding watercolor pencils, and thank you, Patty, for gifting me these amazing pencils. I appreciate that. Okay, so let's go ahead and bring in our punch. And we are going to actually be stamping the stems directly onto that circle, so we don't need to stamp and punch those out. But let's go ahead and punch out our cherries. And I should probably go in from this direction as you're feeding it. I've spread them far enough apart to where I can do that. I can't do it from that direction though. So we're going to go back in this other way. I'm right-handed, so oops. You'll see all the other pieces go flying. Oh well. Fly, pieces, fly. I probably should have turned it upside down and did it that way, but oh well. We're just making confetti, that's all. Now we'll come in with our leaf. And this way we do want to go from that direction and line that up. Oops. Hey, this is how I craft, so I make a mess everywhere. It's all good. Oh! General decided to say hello to me, huh? Okay. Hi, General. Hi, baby. General is Marcy's kitty. And he is my little pumpkin. She has the most adorable little kitties. I like to type to me when mommy's not looking. So, okay. Let's get this stuff out of the way and start building our card. First, let's find our 3 leaves and our pieces here because we have pieces that have flown everywhere. Okay, let's get that in the trash. Let's get this in the trash and start building our card and our pieces. So let's go ahead and put that piece down and let's stamp our stems. And the stems are going to be an early espresso. Thank you, Kimber. I do like those pieces together. Kind of go right there. Oops. Kind of got a little heavy with the stem there. Got a little smudge, but that's okay. That's where I'll put the leaf. Just kiss it down and stamp straight up. And time for Tom to go to work. We'll go ahead and glue this down. Let's go ahead and bring in our card base and do that and start building that. Bring in my bone folder to crease that edge. And I forgot to show you the inside. That's where that 3rd cherry is going to go. So that's why I ended up stamping and punching 3 cherries. 98 means Tammy. Okay. Okay, lay that down. Bring in our basic white. Now the card base is in the thick basic white and this layer piece is in just regular basic white. Lay that down. And this is the designer piece, and it's the same width of the basic white layer. So this is actually cut at 2 by 3 3/4. So we'll place that just right in the middle. And I just realized I have not stamped my sentiment. So let's go ahead and do that right now. And I put them over here. Thanks, Jason. Okay. And we are doing Sweet Friend. And I am leaving the inside blank because I don't know if I'll use it for a happy birthday or if I'll use it as a thank you or just because. So it's a great generic, just thinking of you encouragement card. Sending them some sweetness and some love. And I love the big fonts. I am a font girl. Okay, go ahead and bring in our circle and glue that down. Now you can either glue that down or pop that up, but I'm just going to go ahead and leave it flat. And let's do maybe that cherry there. And you can do this in multi-colors, whatever color you want for that like background of the designer paper, and just make it whatever you like. Oh, that's a cute idea. She said, Rebecca said that you can gift the card for an ice cream shop, the way it's like the cherry on top. I love that. That's such a great idea. There we go. And we will just cover that little smudge up. There we go. You can't even tell I goofed. Always cover it in with an embellishment or a piece of the cardstock, whatever you have. There we go. Hold that down. Let's go ahead and work on the inside here. And we'll bring in the early espresso and the stem again. I'm just putting it right there in the corner. And then we'll glue down the cherry. And then we'll finish it off with some embellishments. Go. Bring that down, and I'm going to use the 2022 to 2024 in color in dots, and I take your pick tool. I don't think I can reach it, and yes I can. Bring in my take your pick tool. Come on, guy. Well, normally these just pick right up, but they're not doing that right now. So we're just going to put that down there. There we go there. And there. And there we have it. What do you guys think? Like it? I really like adding that color pencil to the project. It really just makes it that much more sharper. It was gorgeous before, but it just gives it that wow factor. And then we have the inside, and you can stamp any sentiment, or there's enough room to write your own message in there. Cute, right? Thank you. Bring it closer to the camera, okay? Is that a little bit better, Robin? Can you see that? See the color? If I angle it right there? Well, I want to thank you guys for joining me today. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys stopping in and joining and crafting with me. Again, if you missed the sizes and dimensions, it will be up tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. At cardsbytlc.com. So if you haven't subscribed to my newsletter, and please do so. Again, the olive products that I used today will be there along with in the description box below. And if you enjoyed today's project, I would love to make sure that you've clicked on that like button on this video. After it gets published, it pretty goes up in a couple of hours, possibly. I hope it'll go up a little bit sooner, but it helps me grow my channel. And if you know anyone that would love crafting videos or watch my weekly lives, please be sure to share my channel with them. I'm actually just 1 subscriber away from hitting my first 100 subscribers. So that really means a lot to me. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's project. Now next week, unfortunately, there will not be a live. Unfortunately, I do have a medical appointment that I have to attend to. So I will not be here next week, but I will be back the following week. And I believe that is the 23rd. So please be sure to come back on the 23rd and I'll have a new fun project with you. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day and the rest of your week and have a wonderful weekend. I know it's going to be pretty hot here tomorrow. So if you're in the Bay Area, please stay cool. Please stay hydrated wherever you live. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye, everyone.